UFC 316 is finally happening. Just came off the amazing performance of Mateusz Gamrot versus Ludwig Klein, which technically should be the main event now that Aaron Blanchfield versus Macy Barber was canceled, I should say, as I am recording this on Sunday, the day after the last fight card. And yeah, I'm here to give you my breakdown and my picks and predictions, purely based off passion. I don't put money on these fights, although I might do a little bit of sprinkling. All right, when we get later in this card, we'll get into it. But yeah, I do these picks pretty much for fun. Obviously, I try to win. We're back in the win column. I believe I've had 15. I'm 15-3 on cards this year, and as far as positive and negative, as far as my picks go, meaning 15 of the 18 cards, if my math is correct, I've gone positive, and 3 of them I've gone negative. You know what it is. Women fights, they exist. You know, what can you do? But, yeah. I'm here to break down 316. I'm pretty hyped about it. A lot of people are shitting on this card. It can't be worse than the card we just fucking had, okay? Aaron Blanchfield, Macy Barber didn't even fucking happen. There was like 3 cancellations throughout the week, and then there was 2 short notice replacements within 3 days short notice. And then on top of that, the main event pulled out. This cannot be worse, okay? Now, as always, if there's any sort of changes with this card in terms of fighters pulling out, whatever, I'll put down my new prediction in the description, since the UFC likes having people pull out last minute, unfortunately. Okay, so if I care enough, I'll probably put it there. There's some short notice additions here, I believe, this Gustafsson fight, notably. But yeah, this card looks like it's cooking. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to talk about the main event, but let's get into the card. Chaos Williams versus Andreas Gustafsson. All right. Chaos Williams is solid all around, but to me, in my personal opinion, okay, Chaos Williams has this problem where he doesn't really know when to close out a round. You know, there's a lot of moments where it's just like he's leaving the round up in the air, or it's just like, okay, you're in space, you know, just jab him once and you've clearly won this round. And he just doesn't, you know? Just shoot a takedown now and you clearly win this round. And he doesn't, you know? Not the most gas tank problems. Like, there's some gas tank problems there with some of his previous performances against Gabriel Bonfim, alright? Which Gabriel kind of, like, whooped his ass, didn't he? Yeah, he subbed them. Was it round 1? I don't think it really shows here. I'm pretty sure it was round 1. Or maybe it was round 2. I can't remember. Regardless, yeah, Chaos got fucking fucked up in that fight. I think I picked Gabriel Bonfim, but, you know, Carlson Harris KO is nice. Rolando Bedoya, you know, he exists. But, yeah, I think this Carlson Harris KO, I think it was a good KO. But, like, the problem is when we get close on rounds, and Chaos Williams kind of can't clearly win a round. So I'm kind of worried with that. Obviously, just got subbed. I'm not too worried about that against, or like with the guy like Gustafsson here. Gustafsson, again, debuts. I don't really like looking up these fucking debut fighters, but I've seen some of his highlights because he was supposed to fight last fucking night. You know, and then his fight fell out. I think again. I think that was twice that on that card. So I guess he's here short notice. Kind of worried about the short notice. Really worried about short notice. And it's a debut. It's a rough pick. I haven't seen the odds for this fight. I go in blind with most of these cards and most of my predictions. I go purely based off what I remember. I don't look at other people's predictions until I finish my own predictions. But this one's a nail biter. Okay. You either go with Andreas Bane Gustafsson, okay, it was a debut, 1 week short notice, was supposed to fight literally yesterday, and now he's fighting a pretty big step up in competition in a guy like Chaos Williams. Or you go with Chaos Williams, a guy who's kinda, did he get finished in that other loss? Okay, it's Randy Brown. In hindsight, it's a good loss to have, you know, but I'm out of my good losses era, you know. I don't really care too much if they've got good losses. But it is tough to say. I'm going to go with Chaos Williams. purely because this is a 1 week short notice, and I think Chaos Williams, this might be a Chaos Williams fight where Chaos Williams is just like, it's very close on the rounds, but the judges give him all 3 rounds somehow, you know? So, that's kind of what I'm worried with. I do think he's technically, he might be better everywhere. Again, I haven't seen much of Andreas. I know he's more or less like a TKO guy, I'm pretty sure. Like, he's a big dude, KO, KO, yeah, just a bunch of KOs, you know, and finished, or lost via decision. I just don't like the short notice step up with a guy like Chaos Williams. Williams is a guy who's well-rounded everywhere. And while he does not make rounds clear, I don't think he's going to get finished, you know? And if you're not getting finished, Chaos Williams is still technically good. I can't really trust if, you know... And he's stepping up on, like, a main card, you know? Like, this would be different. Not, like, the main card, but, like, this would be different if this was a fight night. This is, like, an actual UFC card that he's stepping up 1 week short notice to do. I don't know. Maybe he comes in here and fucking slaughters Chaos Williams. That could happen. But I'm wagering Chaos Williams by decision. I think Chaos Williams will probably out-technique Gustafsson when it comes to the ground game. You know, I think Chaos Williams... He's a little bit dumb, but he will shoot takedowns, and that's kind of what I like from his game plan. So I'm going with Chaos Williams. What are the odds? What are the odds for this fight? A lot of people on Williams. Are there odds? No odds for the fight? Alright then. I guess it's too short notice. I get it, though. KO for Williams is kind of crazy, in my opinion. But, you know, it could happen, I guess. Yeah, debut. I get it. I'm on the Chaos Williams side. Moving on, we have Marquel Medeiros versus Mark Chonsky, whatever the fuck his name is. Medeiros, another guy who was supposed to fight last fucking night. Is this a debut? 8-0. APFC. What the fuck are we doing? And this guy gets a main card? You're telling me Trevor Peek's on the bench? You're telling me Nathaniel Wood couldn't step up? You're telling me Nate the Train isn't available right now? We have to get fucking Mark, whatever the fuck this guy's name is. I don't, no, that's Johan, whatever the fuck. I thought that was Joshua Van for a second. I was going to say, oh, good win. But, yeah, what weight is this? 155. This is short notice, I think, technically for both fighters. I don't like this. Austin Hubbard split now looks like shit considering what happened to Austin Hubbard last night. Ew, this is really tough, man. These nail biters on this card are kind of insane. I'm gonna go with Marquel Medeiros, this Mark Chonsky guy. I haven't seen him. He's a debut. He looks young. He fights at whatever the fuck that is, but I don't trust it. I'm going with Medeiros via decision, okay? You know, what can I say? Medeiros isn't bad. He's a little bit, you know, he's kind of like, in a way, like a car, you know, he's a little bit like, if you put, you know, like Kevin Borjas in there, you know? Like, Kevin Borjas isn't that bad, you know, technically. So, I'm gonna go with Marquel Medeiros. I can't trust a debut that I've never seen before. 8-0. A lot of flawless fighters been getting their streak snapped. So, yeah, we're going to go with Marquel Medeiros purely based on, I don't know this fucking other kid. Alright, number 7 for what? Alright, who the fuck is this guy? Moving on. And it's lightweight. Lightweight's a tough division. Moving on, we have, let's leave that open. Quillian Sulkid versus Yanal Ashmuz. Finally, an easy pick. I'm going with Sulkid. I'm going with Sulkid by decision. I know he just smoked Anshul Jubli, you know, but unfortunately, Anshul Jubli's not that good, okay? I know a lot of people were glazing him. He himself called himself the Indian Khabib, alright? He was not that, okay? Quillian Sulkid, we haven't seen much of him. I think that was his debut. Quillian's good, though. Showcase, he was pretty good. I don't think I can trust Sulkid to really get like a 1-2 punch KO like he did last time. But Yanal Ashmuz has also been 1-2 punched KO'd. And is he coming off a win? Yeah, it's to Trevor Peek. Ooh. Trevor Peek's not that good, I'll be honest. You know, as much as the guru likes, MMA guru likes to glaze him, alright, Trevor Peek's not that good. But we respect him around here, okay? You know, Ash Moose can make it boring. Kind of worried. Quillen Soul Kid's a big fucking dude, though. Yeah, 155, too. Did he lose? Oh, it's Chris Duncan. I was thinking this guy got smoked by, what's his name? Peyton Talbot, but that's a different... I can't remember his name. Fuck. Regardless, you know, Ash Moose could make it boring, but I think Cell Kid's not that bad. You know, I think Soul Kid will probably get to, like, just below unranked before he starts really struggling with fighters. I think the odds are a little crazy. I don't know why the fuck they're this wide. I guess because Anshul Jobli is a touted Indian prospect. But, yeah. And that reach is crazy. A 7-inch reach advantage is kind of wild, you know? 3 inches of height taller, too. Yeah, you know, Quillen Soul Kid, I think he's going to be better everywhere. But we haven't seen the gas tank, okay? We haven't seen what happens when he actually struggles, all right? Is there quit in him, okay? So this is the problem. He's young, inexperienced, but so is, you know, to be fair. All right, so it's a little bit of I think this is a little bit more of a coin flip than people think. But yeah, I'm going with Quillen Soul Kid. I mean, dude's kind of a beast right now. He dominated his debut. Let's see what happens with, you know, Ash Moose. Moving on. Azamat Mirzakhanov, alright, wanted to make sure I didn't fucking mispronounce the name there, versus Brenson Ribeiro. I've had my problems with Brenson Ribeiro, okay? You know, I haven't got one of his fights right yet, okay? A little bit of a 50-50 fighter, okay? I think he's, what, 15-7? 17-7? I was close, okay? That was a win. Yeah, he's too, you know. Azamat Mirzakhanov, eh? This guy's in, yeah, Alonzo Metafield KO. He beat Dustin Jacoby. Robbery. My man would never lose to this guy. No, I'm kidding, obviously. Damn, minus 590 at 30. What? Bro, what? I don't remember him beating any of these guys, I've been watching probably since this Tafon that guy name. I don't remember this guy's fights at all. What the fuck? Damn, really? Huh. I do remember the Alonzo Metafield KO because Alonzo fucking sucks. If I'm not mistaken, was that the one where Alonzo Metafield, was that the one where he got finished in like the first minute? It was a weird one, wasn't it? Azamat Mirzakhanov. It was round 2. It was round 2. That's what it was. Yeah, he got fucked up in that fight. Wow, minus 590 is crazy. What the fuck? Like, Brenson Ibeiro's not shit, you know? I'm really tempted to pick Brenson here. What the fuck? His wins are not good, to be fair. You know, Ming Yang Zhang knocked him out. Ming Yang Zhang, you know, he KO'd Bruno Lopez before the GOAT Dustin Jacoby did. Yeah, you know. Yeah, but he's plus 420, bro. These odds, like, I don't know. Azamat's not that good, man. What? He hasn't beat a fucking... I'm going to go with Brenson Ribeiro by an upset. I think he gets a KO, to be honest with you. Brenson Ribeiro, I've had my problems with Brenson, okay? I'm going to go, I reckon, around 1. I've had my problem with Brenson, okay? But Brenson is explosive. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's just terrible in the later rounds, okay? He is dog shit, okay? He is the Michel Pereira, but worse, all right? That's kind of what Brenson Ribeiro is. It's kind of where I'd rate him if I was to, you know, compare him to another fighter. He does, like, push a good pace. He does come forward. He does throw bombs. He's not the most accurate. He's not the most technical. He is a big dude. Bro, what the f... This guy's just a fat guy. Like, I get it. He beat Metafield. Metafield also sucks. And he's getting old. How the fuck is he a minus 600? I don't know what people are smoking, alright? Maybe Maybe I'm missing something with this Dustin Jacoby fight. Maybe I gotta rewatch this after this. But, like, bro, a 10-inch reach advantage. I know, like, genetics aren't, like, everything, because Brenson is, like, a 50-50 fighter. And it would be kind of a Ribeiro way to lose right now. But his loss... fuck, I did say that I don't want to rely on the losses. His loss... Kyle Machado is a good win, okay? Kind of a good win, even though it was a split decision. So I'm going to go with Ribeiro. I think he's just going to fucking catch Azamat early on here. I think Azamat's going to land a few good shots. Ribeiro's going to eat them. And then he's just going to land back and put him out, to be honest with you. Azamat's ranked? No, he's not. I don't believe that. There's no way I can't remember a fucking... Oh my god, he's ranked. Light heavyweight's dog shit right now. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm not on this Azamat Murzakanov train. I think Ribeiro's going to knock him out. This guy's not that... I just don't see it, you know? Like, even in the takedown department, Brenton Ribeiro will probably... Ribeiro is such the type of dude to, like, try to threaten a Darce and try to just full send a Darce. Or, like, full send a guillotine. One of those two. If he's put up against the cage. I reckon he could get it. But I also reckon he knocks out a 36-year-old man who hasn't fought in, what, 6 months? 9 months since coming off a KO win. I don't like that. Getting older. Significant genetic disadvantage here. Alright? But maybe, you know, Brenton Ribeiro also works hard, man. Alright? I was going to say maybe it's a hard work difference, but, you know. I don't know, man. I'm going to go with Brenton Ribeiro here. I think he picks up a win here. Gets a big upset. You know, maybe I'll be eating my own words on Fight Night, which I'll probably be streaming. So just, you know, if you want to drop by, come by Saturday night when I'm streaming. Anyways, moving on. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Alright, shameless plug over. Moving on. Ju Sang Yu versus Jeka Sarigi. Okay, these two names I don't recognize that well. Alright. Oh, okay. Well, we got a debut. Alright, that's great. That's fucking great. He lost to Weston Wilson. That I remember. I remember Weston Wilson being a guy. This was the dude who was supposed to, like, be so explosive. And he was, like, a small, tiny dude, I guess, compared to his opponent. Weston Wilson, who's, like, a tall, rangy dude. But, like, holy fuck, he got out-muscled everywhere. He got out-grappled everywhere. He was getting out-landed. I get it, his opponent was karate style. Weston Wilson is not a fighter, though. I'm going to go with the debut, purely based off that, you know? Beat Lucas Alexander, who sucks. He lost to Anshul Jubilee. Yeah, this guy's just the definition of a can, I'll be honest with you. So I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you by, I reckon, KO, to be honest with you. If Weston is giving you prop... Oh my god. Ugh. I haven't seen anything from this dude. I reckon this guy's gonna come in and get a KO. South Korean prospect. This is like his time. I don't give a fuck about Jeka, whatever. This guy's a bum. He's a bum. I don't care. He's shit. Alright. 145 or... Yeah. I also reckon Ju might miss weight, too. You know, he looks like a big dude. Alright. Just an early prediction out of my ass. Alright. Moving on. Sergey Spivak versus Walter Cortez Acosta. I'm going with Sergey Spivak. I'm going to go via submission. Alright? Round 1 guillotine. I've called it. Therefore, it's going to happen. Okay? Sergey Spivak is not bad. But he is dumb. Alright? Waldo Cortez Acosta is not bad. But he is dumber. Okay, guys? Waldo is smart in that, oh, this guy can't defend takedown? Okay, I go takedown now. You know? But he will sit there, eat damage. He throws back pretty decently, but Ryan Spann did have good moments against Waldo Cortez Acosta, but Ryan Spann is a 40-year-old man, so he's kind of shit. He's also, like, dumber than a bag of bricks. Sergey Spivak, he's got good, what's it called? Improv IQ, okay? He doesn't research his fighters, which might be a problem with Waldo Cortez Acosta, but that's a problem like with every fighter in the UFC. Don't know why the fuck you're not researching fighters. That's what he said in an interview. That's kind of my only concern here. But my real reason for picking Sergey Spivak, he is technically good. His striking is pretty good. His takedowns aren't the cleanest, but he's got good trips and throws. I think he's coming from a Sambo background, something like that. And he has lost to Aspinall. He has lost to Cyril Gahn. He's also now lost to... Who's the other one? Jolton Almeida. He lost to Jolton Almeida via ground and pound. And he did get fucked up in that fight, to be fair. But I do think Sergey Spivak is actually really good. And this screams Waldo Cortez Acosta losing, flexing, doing a salsa dance, shooting a takedown, and getting guillotined. That I can just so see it. I see it. It's right in front of my face. Just like how I could see fucking Ian Gary barely winning against Carlos Prates, just barely doing better in every round. And fucking Mateos Gamrotting Ludovic Klein. Alright? Those were close and odds fights. This is also a close and odd fight. You know, I'm not a gambling man. I think this is a discount for Sergey Spivak. Spivak is good. What was that win? Marcin Tybura, which actually, in hindsight, is a pretty good win, okay? Marcin Tybura might give problems with Waldo Cortez Acosta, alright? Is Sergey Spivak fat? Yes. Is Waldo Cortez fat? Yes. Does Waldo probably have better cardio over the course of 3 rounds? Sure. I don't think it's going to go 3. I do think Spivak's going to get a sub early. I just don't... I think Waldo... His striking is terrible, and he's getting exposed for his striking whenever he's, like, at distance. And then when he shoots his takedowns and shit, he's only winning because his opponents don't know what to do on the ground. His, Roberto, what the fuck was his name? Lucas Brzezinski, don't care. Andrei Arlovsky, that fight was really close, and Andre arguably could have won. Robelis de Spain never knew what a takedown was, okay? And Ryan Spann fucking sucks. Ryan Spann's just shit, okay? But, yeah, I do think Waldo is going to shoot a takedown at a very bad angle. And I just think Sergey Spivak is either going to land a trip and get a sub, or he's going to pull a ghillie. And I think he's going to land that ghillie. Because Spivak's also young, too. Yeah, 30 years old, you know? And before his crazy win streak, alright, he did lose to Aspinall as well, you know? Good losses, which I said I'm not going to do anymore. But his wins are pretty good, to be fair. You know, Marcin Tybura, Derek Lewis, those guys could give problems to Waldo. Even Derek Lewis could give problems to Waldo. Just saying, okay? You know, I do think Waldo's chin is there to be cracked. He's only getting older. He's not getting any younger. He's taking more damage in these fights, even with Ryan Spann hitting him with shit. And Spivak's a big dude, you know? They're listed at 6'4", 6'3". You know, I reckon Spivak might even be the same height or even taller than Waldo. You know, Waldo's big, but Sergey Spivak's kind of a big gentleman. All right, so I'm going with Sergey Spivak. I think he gets back in the win column. I think Waldo gets fraud checked. Moving on. So if you're new around here, I do this really high-tech method, all right? Some people use the pick doctor like we won't pick. Some people use logic and reasoning like the Lucas Tracy's, like the bedtime MMAs, I think, like the MMA gurus, okay? I use the tried and true method of a... yeah, here we go. Of a coin flip. Heads is the woman on the left, tails is the woman's on the right. Let's see what we get. I said heads on the left, tails on the right. Tails on right. We're going with Kong Wang. Oh, okay. I like this. The coin might be cooking. Hey, yesterday, coin went 0-2. Not its greatest performance. Probably the first time it went negative this year, okay? Not a great performance from the coin, but hey, all right? Coin's making a comeback this card, all right? Wang Kong by honestly by KO. Women fights are getting entertaining somehow, but Wang Kong is like a KO or a bust type of gal. Even though that was a decision against Bruna Brazil. But yeah, Kong Wang is pretty good. She definitely Kong's, I'm not gonna, she's definitely laying that Wang down, if you know what I mean. You know, Yeah, not really much to say. Ariana Lipski fucking sucks. Moving on. Bruno Silva, the flyweight, sorry, not the one who just got retired by Marc-Andre Barrios. Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. I've seen the odds because I was scrolling through Google. These odds are crazy. I'm a Joshua Van fan, but I am not this high on Joshua Van. I think he wins, but Bruno Silva, he was landing good on Manel Cap. And there was, I know he groin shotted Manel Cap, which stopped the momentum, but he was doing good, And Joshua Van is young and inexperienced, and he is kind of chinny in a way. And Bruno Silva does hit pretty hard, Has he been? Yeah, he has been getting KOs. The Cody Durden KO. Cody Durden's an old man. Tyson Nam sucks. Victor Rodriguez 4 years ago. No one cares. But, the Manel Cap loss, he did get nutshotted and then finish, and that's kind of how, the finishing sequence happened. Bruno Silva, I think, is being, really counted out here. I think this is going to be way... Joshua Van sets a great pace. Fantastic pace, This guy... I would be shocked if he's not doubling Bruno Silva's strikes by the end of the fight. He has an insane pace. Silva also will probably stand and bang, so this might be a wicked, flyweight fucking 3-round banger, alright? Where they're throwing, 300 significant strikes each. But Joshua Van sets an insane pace. I think his last fight, he literally threw, 500 strikes or something. It was insane. That was 2 months ago. Wow. He did really good in that fight, to be fair as well. Cody Durden won that one. I think that one was 500 strikes or some shit. It was crazy. Edgar Shawraz, also another crazy fight. I do think Joshua Van has sneaky power. I don't think he's going to finish Silva. And that's kind of why I think this price is kind of crazy. 5-1 odds is kind of wild in my opinion. I would probably... I'm not an odds maker. I'd give it 2-1 personally. Because Bruno Silva was doing really good against Manel Cap in moments. To the point where it's you could... I don't know if you could argue he won the rounds. But it was close in moments where he's tagging Cap and shit when Cap was out of his flow state. Again, groin shots, I get it. That's another thing you got to take into account. If Silva was getting away with cheating in his last fight, he's probably going to be cheating in this fight. Nut shots, eye pokes. I'm not sure if Joshua Van is gonna if he gets eye pokes, Joshua Van's the type of dude to be fuck it, let's just go back into it. I don't really like that when you're going against a wild dude like Bruno Silva. But I am gonna go with Joshua Van. I think a comfortable 30-27, maybe a 29-28. But I do think I'm not saying Silva can't win this fight. I'm just kind of confident in Joshua Van. I think the odds are crazy. Moving on to Mario Bautista versus Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix, a debut, coming from what FC? What even is that? What's the B? BKFC? Magomedov. Actually, I think I've actually seen that guy fight before. Patchy Mix is good. Mario Bautista, I think, is just gonna be a little bit better. All right. And when I said Patchy Mix is good, wow, he's copying Garbrandt's nickname, eh? No love, Patchy Mix. Weird. Yeah, people are touting him like a big deal. I haven't really seen much of this guy. He's bigger than Mario. That's something, I guess. He's young. He's not fucking Unk fighting Yair Rodriguez. But Mario Bautista performance over Jose Aldo, which was his last fight, yeah. That fight was... Mario Bautista can keep it boring. And Mario Bautista, I think he's on... Bro, he's on something. That, Ricky Simone fight was insane. He was setting a crazy pace that whole fight. The Damon Blackshear fight, also crazy pace. I think his last loss was... Was it Merab? It might be Merab. Hold up. Mario Bautista. Yeah. I think it was Merab. What was his last loss? He beat that guy. Beat Brian Kelleher. Holy fuck, man. What was his last loss? Oh, Trevin Jones knocked him out. Back in 2021. Beat Miles Johns. Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen was the guy. Not Mario, or not fucking, what's his name? Merab. You know, not Merab. I was thinking of Corey Sandhagen. Really, really interesting fellow. You know, Mario Bautista. He's kind of on a tear. I just think it's Bautista's, like, era. You know? I just think he's going to continue. Especially with this, like, debut with Patchy Mix. I don't think, like, any sort of butterflies are going to be there. Like, I'm not worried about jitters. I think if this was, like, a fight night main event or something, like, it'd be fine or whatever. Compared to, you know, him being on a main card. But I'm going to go with Mario Bautista via decision. I just think if someone's going to make this boring, it's Bautista, and he has no problem doing it. And Bautista sets a crazy pace, you know? So that's another thing. He's literally like a mini Merab. Really. He pretty much is just a mini Merab. So... And I mean mini in terms of, like, skill, not necessarily, like, size. Because I don't even know if he's smaller than Merab. But he's an interesting fella. He's a young kid, you know? Interesting prospect. But, yeah, I think he gets this done. Patchy Mix could win. I haven't seen any of his shit, so I don't really care. But yeah, I'm going Bautista by decision. Moving on, Vicente Luque, Kevin Holland. I want to pick Vicente Luque so bad, because Kevin Holland fucking sucks, and he's not a fighter. But it's tough, man. Because Luque does have brain bleed, you know, and this is the thing. He's technically good, but he does have brain bleed. Does he get another Darce choke of doom? Does the Darce choke night rise? You know? Like, this is what we gotta think about. These are the things we gotta think about. Kevin Holland is shit. His mentality's bad. He will quit in a fight. He will just sit there eating strikes and just, like, resign himself to a boring decision. He will be dumb and do dumb positions like on Gunnar Nelson, which I'm still confused on how he won. He's not smart. But Vicente Luque is also not smart. Like, this is the thing. And it would be such a... No, Kevin Holland's coming off a win? Yeah, I'm going with Vicente Luque. I think the Darce choke rises. I reckon Vicente Luque might get a fucking submission, you know? I think Kevin could probably wobble Vicente. I think Kevin might be able to get a KO. I just think Luque skill for skill is better everywhere. It just depends if Vicente Luque's brain is bleeding or not. And I'm picking this based on his brain not bleeding. And if you're confused what I mean, when he lost to Joaquin Buckley, he had butterflies. He was able to just push, and he could have pushed Buckley off. But instead, he sat there, hands on forehead, just absorbing strikes. And I think before that, there was, like, talks of him having brain bleed and all this other shit via brain scans and a bunch of other stuff. He's been in a lot of wars, so I get why. And I'm by no means trying to shit on Vicente Luque for having brain bleed. But it is just, like, I don't think I can pick... Like, this is where we're at, you know? He's number 13 against number 70. Alright? If we're going by rankings here. And he's the underdog. Like, that's how bad the brain bleed might be. But skill for skill, I do think Luque's better everywhere. Kevin Holland is a genetic freak. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal in this fight. Honestly, Vicente Luque did just beat Themba, which Themba is like a chinnier Kevin Holland. In a way, kind of, if you think about it. But, maybe a smarter Kevin Holland as well. But I do think Kevin's also been getting knocked down recently, man. So I think this might be a club and sub situation, you know? The Gunnar Nelson fight, I don't think he was really in that much danger. Reiner de Ritter, I don't think there was any striking threat from Reiner de Ritter in that fight. The Roman Dolidze, he was getting touched up pretty bad. The McCall, he got dropped pretty bad. MVP, who's getting his fucking ass whooped. Yeah, I think we're going to see an ego from Kevin Holland. Him trying to, like, do something in the first round. Doesn't get his way, loses the first round. And Vicente Luque probably picks up a submission. I'm going to say late in round 3. You know? Like, close to the end of the bell, Vicente goes for that submission. Talks about his title run. and probably gets fraud checked his next fight. Moving on, we have Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. I'm going Joe Pyfer by KO. Kelvin Gastelum fucking sucks. I'm tired of the glazer Kelvin Gastelum. Dude can't even make his natural weight class, which is welterweight. He's failed it twice. He made it once, and he looked like an absolute fucking pastry when he got flattened by Sean Brady. So the guy doesn't belong in middleweight. He's not a middleweight. Joe Pyfer could be a light heavyweight if he wanted to. He's got the cardio. I'm not worried about like the toughness at all. Kelvin Gastelum couldn't fucking knock out Israel Adesanya, which we now know is very chinny. I'm not too worried about, he's also dumber than a bag of bricks, Kelvin Gastelum. Actually, you know what? I reckon a submission. You know, Sean Brady trains with Joe Pyfer. I reckon Joe Pyfer beats the living shit out of Kelvin Gastelum in round 1. You're going to see cuts on his face. You're going to see damage all over him. You know, he's going to look fucking tired as shit. Body bags, he's going to be sitting down. Sean Brady might be in the corner being like, do this, do that, you know, whatever. And I reckon, like, round 2, Kelvin shoots, like, a really lazy, sloppy takedown, as he does. And Joe Pyfer just fucking latches up a Darce. Takes fucking Kelvin down, and just takes him down by yanking his fucking neck down, and just finishes him there, finishes him from that position. Either a Darce, guillotine. Seen that a lot nowadays, and I just think Joe Pyfer, he is really good on the ground. I think he's, like, sneaky good on the ground. Yeah, I mean, Joe Pyfer's really good. He just lost to Jack Hermanson. It is what it is, you know? Jack Hermanson also it was pretty close in that fight, but Joe Pyfer could quit, but he could quit in a 5-rounder. I don't think Joe Pyfer has the ability to really quit in a 3-rounder. You know, like, he's no Bo Nickel. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Joe Pyfer by sub. I'm going to say round 2, round 3, but I'm going to put my prediction as round 2. Moving on, Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison. Let's really hope we get tails here, boys. Heads on the left, tails on the right. Oh, shit. That's not good. So the coin might go 1-1 tonight, all right? Or, I mean, Saturday night, okay? You know, not gonna lie, keep it fully transparent. Not really what I was hoping for, but hey, we live on the sword, we die by the sword with the coin. All right, we're going Juliana Pena, you know, split decision, you know, heavy underdog, you know, Kayla Harrison, you know, her boob's gonna fall out, you know, mid-round, and, Juliana Pena is just gonna fucking lay on her. You know, she's gonna reverse position, call out Amanda Nunes, you know. Yeah, fuck. Moving on. If you say what you say, you are a superstar. Champ is here. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Sean O'Malley, Merab 2. I'm going Sean O'Malley, KO in the 4th, baby. Alright, I've been saying it. Every time I think about it, it's even more vivid in my mind. Sean O'Malley's fucking good. I rewatched their first fight. And it comes down to round 1. Alright? Judges had the 3rd scored for O'Malley and the 5th scored for O'Malley. Two of the 3 judges, okay? Had it 2-3 O'Malley, okay? So, if that's the case, it comes down to round 1, 2, and 4. Round 2 and 4, Merab fucking dominated. Second to second, alright? Minute to minute, bell to bell. Merab dominated, okay? In those 2 rounds. Round 1, O'Malley was whooping Merab's ass after the first, like, 30 seconds when they got through a little bit of an early exchange. O'Malley was winning the striking for 3 minutes straight. Whooping Merab. Merab's not throwing at all. Very hesitant. You know, he's jittering around, getting hit. You know, not doing shit. And then Merab lands 2 takedowns within a minute 30, and they give Merab the round somehow, you know? Did he land knees to the thigh? Sure. Did he land a few peppered hands when he had him against the cage? Sure. None of those really did any damage. None of those were even close to the same levels of damage that that O'Malley was landing. O'Malley literally caused a bloody nose in the first. And he was just landing better. Completely. I don't give a fuck what the official strike numbers are on the UFC website. O'Malley was outlanding Merab, and if Merab's numbers are higher, it's purely because of those little knees or those little punches he was doing on the clinch against the cage. Those, I get they count as numbers, buddy. It's like 5 of those to count for one O'Malley right hand, and O'Malley was landing pretty good. Missed a wheel kick a few times. But he did, in my personal opinion, win the first fight. I think it's close, but I think he clearly won the fight. All right? I think it's a close fight where if Merab spent 1 minute less, getting hit by jabs in the first round, and he shot a takedown, maybe landed a few more takedowns, did some damage with it, sure, maybe I would have given it to Merab. But he didn't. He got outstruck for 3 minutes, landed a takedown for 1.5 minutes, and had a little bit of 30 seconds of even exchanges throughout the whole round. I give that whole round to O'Malley, But, with that being said, the first fight is the first fight. This is a different fight. Also, O'Malley was injured in that fight. He had a torn labia. Okay, guys. No, he had a torn thing in his hip, I think, which wasn't helping with his takedown defense, but I don't think that really matters. Yeah, this rematch is different for a few reasons. Number one, Merab has a broken toe, all right? I know it's a pinky toe. If you haven't seen the images, it is a broken toe. It's 100% a broken toe. It's not like it could be a really, really, really bad sprain, but regardless, his foot is a little compromised right now, okay? I don't think that's a huge deal, but I'm willing to bet there's other injuries going on with Merab. Merab is really dumb. He will fight with, major injuries, And with that into account, and then on top of, yes, he beat Umar, another, 3-2 decision, okay? Merab's looking very at his limit, is this, I don't know if this is Merab's, first rematch. This is the first, notable rematch, I guess. But he's looking like the gas tank's about to be empty with how much performance-enhancing drugs he's on, which he's clearly on. There's no way he goes from gassing out to Ricky Simone in a 3-round fight to being able to do the pace he does with every single fighter he does, shoot 50 takedowns on Peter Yan. That's not how that works, okay? So he's on performance-enhancing drugs. Let's get that out the way, okay? But I don't even hate Merab. I just think Sean O'Malley is one of the best strikers, okay, in the UFC. And I do think he won the first fight. And I do think Merab had almost a perfect performance. He got the takedowns when he needed to. Close to the end of the round, He ended up outstriking him, even though it was his strikes that he was landing were being counted as he was doing this at range, not even fucking close to O'Malley. They weren't even near his face, and they were counting those strikes for Merab. Bullshit bias. No idea why. Maybe it's because Ilya was champion at the time, okay? But, regardless, I just think it was, everything was going well for Merab, alright? His cut didn't get opened up till late. He was almost finished, but he managed to tough it out in the 5th, alright? Which we can all agree O'Malley clearly won the 5th, and we haven't seen a lot of people take Merab in the 5th that well, And it wasn't like, oh, that was the one moment. O'Malley was winning the 5th, and then hurt Merab pretty bad. We don't see that, so I'm not really concerned about the cardio problems here with O'Malley, And I have a friend of mine, okay? He's been saying, but, O'Malley looked broken every time Merab had the takedowns, okay? And I do think that played a part where O'Malley was just like, if I get taken down, it's cooked, I'm fucked, the round's over. And I think he needs to not be worried about the takedown so much, because Merab will just fail takedown after fail takedown. Because what he does is that he hooks his own glove so he secures the takedown. Should be cheating. I don't know if it is. It should be, though. He hooks his own glove to secure a takedown, so it's not reliant on strength whatsoever. It's literally just hooks the glove and then he fucking double legs your ass, But Merab, he had everything perfect in the first fight. He got the takedowns closer to the end of the round when he needed them. He got the clinch positions where he could knee to the thigh, He closed the distance when he needed to. There's not much Merab can do better. You know? A 5-minute round, 2 minutes of every round, I think, except for the fourth. O'Malley's standing there, outstriking him, you know? And Merab did land good shots here and there. They didn't even phase O'Malley, all right? O'Malley's rolling with most of it, but there was a few times where O'Malley got clipped. I think it was actually the third, but he got clipped by a big shot from Merab. It didn't do shit, okay? And Merab couldn't finish Umar when Umar was on fucking empty in the fifth. I'm not worried Merab's going to finish O'Malley in this fight. Hey, don't get me wrong. It would be wild if that happened, okay? Oh, that'd be crazy, okay? I don't hate the Nugget Man, all right? But O'Malley is technically really fucking good. And I think people are forgetting that he was reversing positions. He was able to, like, kind of out-scramble Merab on the ground, you know? I get Merab was getting those dominant positions, you know, that headlock position he likes to get on, like, Henry Cejudo and Sean O'Malley in their fight. But when he wasn't getting that headlock position, O'Malley was scrambling out, he was getting to his feet, he was pushing off Merab, and they'd get to space, and O'Malley was winning the space exchanges, you know? I think O'Malley is the one to improve in this fight, and Merab can't. And basing off of Merab's last performance, I'll just be honest, his striking looked worse. His striking in the Umar fight looked like dog shit. It looked like a toddler was throwing strikes. I thought I was watching Alexa Grasso versus whoever the fuck she just fought, you know? The striking was terrible, alright? From Merab. It was literally just like him throwing like it's his first time ever throwing a strike. So, who's more likely to make a mistake here? It's Merab. Who's more likely to get finished later in the rounds? It's Merab. When it comes to gas tank, sure, Merab's got cardio for 20 rounds. That doesn't matter in a 5-round fight. I don't think it lasts that long, you know? So, I do think O'Malley wins this. I've got him pretty comfortably. I am kind of worried about another close decision, but I do think O'Malley's going to clearly... I think O'Malley is going to win 1 round, lose 2, and get a finish in the 4th. Or, you're going to see Merab, like, break in this fight. As crazy as that sounds. I know it's like Merab, the you know, mental fortitude of a rock, okay? You can't get through that man's skull. But, he is dumb. He will look at the crowd. He will turn away, do stupid shit. He will look at Tim Welsh and start an argument with Tim Welsh. He will do all this shit. You know, kiss fucking Sean O'Malley on the forehead mid-fight. Kind of sus, alright? Not beating those allegations, Merab. But, he will dive headfirst into an iced lake. Like enough said, he will do the dumb things. And I think, if you give O'Malley 50 minutes to knock out any bantamweight on this planet, he will find that shot. I know he's already been through 25, and he almost found that shot. And I know almost isn't he did, but I do think Sean O'Malley is the technical better fighter almost everywhere. So, I'm going with O'Malley, alright? Feeling pretty confident. And, yeah, that's been my picks and predictions for UFC at 316. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, I want to thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a good day.